Hey there, I'm Brandon, and this is the Dirt Church Devotional. You know, there's a really neat story in John chapter 6. In fact, the story is so neat it made it into all four of the Gospels. It's a story about Jesus feeding a whole bunch of people, 5,000 men, plus women and children. And he did it pretty miraculously. But I really like what John says. He says there in chapter 6, he says, Jesus turned to Philip and asked him, hey, Philip, this is my own version anyway. Hey, Philip, where are we going to get enough bread to feed all these people? And Philip's answer, and get this, John says Jesus only asked him this to see what Philip would say, to test him, because Jesus already had in mind what he was going to do. Anyway, Philip's answer was, wow, it would take like 8 months' wages to give each one a single bite. Jesus already knew. He knew how big the problem was, and he knew what he was going to do, okay? Now, let's keep the story going. After Philip says that, Andrew, who is Simon Peter's brother, comes up to Jesus and he says, hey, Jesus, here's 5 loaves, 5 small loaves, and 2 small fish. And it was like when he said that, when he heard the words come out of his mouth, he realized how ridiculous that sounded. And he paused and he said, well, but how far will that go among a crowd this big? Oh, he shouldn't have paused. What did Jesus do? He took that crazy idea. And in fact, it wasn't like he said, oh, wow, Andrew, that's a really good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Let's break some loaves and fish. No, remember, John says Jesus was testing Philip because he already knew what he was going to do. Andrew, without even realizing it, get this, without even realizing it, Andrew was budding faith. Faith was beginning to rise up. Crazy faith was beginning to rise up within him. He was actually allowing the Holy Spirit to speak through him. What do I mean, the Holy Spirit speaking through him? Doesn't Paul say in Romans, hey, when we don't know what to pray or how to pray, the Holy Spirit prays for us. He prays through us with words that we don't understand. If the Holy Spirit can pray through us, don't you think it's completely possible, not let's say plausible, that the Holy Spirit can think for us when we don't know what to think? The Holy Spirit planted those thoughts in Andrew's mind. Andrew in faith began to speak it out, but he stopped short. But Jesus didn't stop short. He took that crazy idea. He took that nonsensical thought, and he fed 5,000 men, plus women and children, probably 12 to 15,000 people. So my challenge to you is, what kind of crazy, outrageous, doesn't make any sense whatsoever kinds of thoughts have you had? And might they just be from God? Maybe the Holy Spirit's speaking to you about what he wants to do, the next miracle he wants to do, not only in you, but through you to bless others. Chew on that. Have those crazy thoughts. Have those crazy dreams. We'll talk to you next time.